Hello, it's Professor Castleberry, Dr. G, reaching out to students of public speaking. Just want to touch base and make sure we are doing what we need to do to continue with some forward momentum. We want to finish this class together and successfully, and there's ways we can play active roles to ensure we're giving ourselves the best chance for success. Okay, so as established, we're now creating discussion boards where we're submitting ideas, getting feedback. I see this as an ongoing area, so be sure to check in each week for how we might be evolving that online kind of discussion format. The feedback is crucial for you to be able to continue to improve and get everything done to finish the semester off the right way. And so I do want to talk about how we can kind of expand the timeline in a way that's meant to help everyone. So obviously topic selection has been important. This week, it looks like a majority of you all have submitted your ideas. Some have not. In which case you're way behind. Like let's get in there. Let's interact. The next step or phase would be outline submission. Okay, so our original timeline, we suggested by the end of the week, we should be in a place where we're feeling comfortable enough to submit an outline in progress, like a working draft outline. And I think that's an important next step. And so be submitting those outlines. But what we're going to do is next week create a little bit more wiggle room. And this actually, it even makes sense within the original logistics of our course setup, all right? So instead of meeting every day for essentially, a week plus 4 periods minimum to give speeches, we'll try to create the most optimistic timeline that we can for your final speech submission. But it means we need to be following steps in the meantime. So we've been negotiating topics, talking about topics. Next, we need to get those outlines in. Consider that an immediate goal, right? And if you're not turning it in Friday, I should expect to see the Dropbox full of outline drafts on Monday morning when I open it back up. And you can title the document informative outline draft, right? Because it's possible we need feedback there. We want to do a good job. So then next week, all in terms of putting your outlines together, right? That should be a high priority, and you should put it together relatively soon. We're talking front half of the week. If you have jobs, if you're busy, if you're managing other tasks and duties, although I suspect most of us are perhaps sheltering in place, right? Then, you could get started on it this weekend or early next week, whatever you need to do, whatever your process, but budget yourself that time, like do yourself that service. So we're working on those visual aids heading into next week. By midweek, you need to be submitting those visual aids. I think something we could do, perhaps we create a discussion board for that, and you could submit them in a public way so that we could get feedback on it. And that peer feedback is as important in some ways as mine. It keeps us engaged. It keeps us giving ideas to one another, but it's also helping us move forward with content. I'll be in touch soon with a little mini lecture, talk about persuasive speaking and help us define how that's different from informative speaking, which our last pair of speeches have focused on. There will be another activity, okay, folks, and you'll be tasked with that, just like our speeches, putting those together. Now, we will, of course, be submitting speeches online, and so that means using an online space to submit your work, and you can put it into the Dropbox. But here's what we want from you. The most efficient way that's not going to cause a lot of problems is for you to take advantage of having a MacU email account, which is a Gmail account. And guess what? The Gmail accounts are linked to YouTube. So you you may or may not know this, but you have a YouTube account already. It's just waiting to be activated. And you can sync it up with your MacU Gmail and then use that YouTube account to upload your speeches, right? You can upload it, put it in the unlisted setting if you like, or just have it public. Trust me, not that many people are watching these videos when there's so many other types of videos to watch, but put it in an unlisted or public setting. That way you can embed the videos as you submit them. Accessing videos through YouTube is going to be a lot easier than if you're uploading or submitting full video files. And that puts a stress and a strain on our servers. It can cause some other problems. All right, so I'm trying to give us the best advice toward the heightened success, right, and just achievement is a goal for us at this point. So be checking in. Don't ghost away for weeks at a time from D2L, the discussion board. You should be checking in for all your classes there regularly, and you, in theory, have the time to do that. We're focusing right now, though, on the Ignite informative speeches. Topic selection should be well underway. Outlines should be nearly complete. You should never feel like the research phase is truly finished until you lock it down and you've got that visual aid, written, and you start rehearsing. At that point, you can abandon research, but be researching your topics. Middle of next week, we're submitting draft of what our visual aid looks like for potential last-minute feedback, and then I'm looking at a timeline for us, perhaps the following Friday. Was that Friday the 3rd, 4th, or maybe even that Sunday following as a hard deadline, submitting that Ignite informative speech, right? We want to do that. It gives us another solid week and a half to kind of work that out. All right. Thank you for listening. Stay active. We've got to keep track of your progress here. You need to be checking in. And that the discussion board in D2L is the easiest mechanism for you to be popping in, kind of communicating. Of course, I've been receiving some emails, that sort of thing, but it's a place where we can all congregate. I'll be on the lookout for additional ways we can collaboratively come together, and I'll be in touch. Thank you for listening.